So, I'm Miss Newton and I teach physics. I always start all of my classes off with some sort of meme or picture. And so this was actually the one from day one. And in terms of topics that we cover in physics first semester, we go through 1D and 2D motion, looking at speed, velocity, acceleration. Then we go forces and Newton's laws. We go into conservation of energy with potential and kinetic. Then we do momentum with collisions. And then we end the semester with gravitation and circular motion. Most of this is very similar to, all of this year is very similar to the first semester of physical science. But what we do is we go more in depth and in more detail than what they did in eighth grade. Just some quick information about me. Let's see, I'm from the main metro Atlanta area from Lakeside and Georgia Tech. It's my 18th year teaching and my 18th year at Parkview, only school I've taught at, not planning on moving anytime soon. Let's see, I'm married with 3 kids and 2 kitty cats. My oldest is actually a freshman this year, so both of us are now at Parkview together, and it's awesome. If your student has me for either second period or seventh period, they also have the added benefit of a second teacher in the room. In second period, that would be the amazing Miss Henley. And if it's seventh period, it is the also amazing Mr. Lotspeech. And if you are in second or seventh, you are more than welcome to contact both me and my team teacher, or you can contact just my team teacher, whatever your students are most comfortable with. Quick information about the class is there is always going to be like a weekly announcement as well as tutoring schedule and all of that sort of information on eClass. And then any notes, keys to their packet, which the packet is both practice and review for the test. The keys for that, extra practice, labs, if they missed them, all of that information is also on Google Classroom. Anything on Google Classroom will also be directly linked on eClass. In terms of parent communication, I'll email out progress reports. And I also am planning on using Parent Square more in terms of just sending little bits of information like, this is what we're doing this week. Classroom materials, they definitely need to make sure to have their notebooks with them. And it really helps to have a calculator. Just a standard scientific calculator works great. They cannot use their phones. If they don't have one, I do have some in class that they're welcome to borrow. I have 3 classroom expectations. Number 1 is that phones are in bags and bags are on the shelves. Phones have become a big issue in the classroom, and so this is across the board in physics, and I think in science in general. Phones are supposed to be in their book bags, and then we also have the bags away from them so that the space is cleared for walking, as well as not tempting them to try to get back into their bags to get their phones. Number 2 is showing respect. They are expected to actively listen and to show respect to their peers as well whenever someone asks a question or answers a question, making sure that they're not being disruptive and being kind. And then number 3 is cleaning space. A lot of times we'll do diagrams and pictures, and in those cases, we'll like cut and paste them into their notebooks. And so I just make sure that the students pick up all the little pieces of scrap paper. And my 7th period, which is super great about doing this, putting the chairs up on the tables. That way our custodians can sweep every day in the afternoon. And they are really, really good about that. Grading. So we have 2 main categories, which are the progress and mastery. AKS progress is like little learning checks or little activities that get turned in. Most of mine are eClass quizzes. Those open on a certain date that the students then take in class, and then they're open for exactly 1 week to 11:59 p.m. 1 week later. So I tell the students that those learning checks are open 24/7. If they are absent on a day that we have a learning check, they are more than welcome to log in on any device that hooks to the internet, go onto eClass, and do the quiz in eClass. And it is open for an entire week so that they have an opportunity to get that done. AKS Mastery, which is 40%, those are your unit tests. We do have the interims back again, so no more CFAs. That is done by the county, so it is a county midterm, 5%. The performance exam, and for this semester, it is the Classic Physics Egg Drop Project, where they will work in groups to build something that protects their egg from breaking, and then they'll have to do some calculations based on that data. And then since we are a district course, their final exam, which is worth 15%, will be a county final exam. For tests that students do not do very well on, this is the steps that they have to take in order to be able to retest. Number one is they have to follow the phone policy. So they need to make sure that their phones are away. If they are not paying attention in class, then they are not going to know the information and they're not going to do well. Number two is that all missing grades have to be gone. Depending on timeline, that may or may not be for credit, but no matter what, they need to make sure to do all of those progress checks to make sure that they know that material before they retest. And then we have a remediation assignment. It's usually 1 page front and back with all of the major information from that particular unit. They have to have it at least 80% correct in order to be able to retest. And then they have to schedule with me or with my team teacher for those courses in order to retake it. That has to be done by the next unit test. Now, you can only get up to an 80% with the retake because only students who make less than an 80 are eligible for the retake. In terms of contacting, best way is to send me an email. And so here's my email address. And then if you are in second period, this is Ms. Henley's email address. And seventh period, this is Mr. Lotspeech's email address. Best way to contact us. And of course, if you would like to use Parent Square instead in order to contact, because I know it has auto translating, please feel free to do that, and we'll make sure that we get those messages as well. Well, thank you. And if you have any more questions, feel free to contact either me or my team teacher in those courses. And I look forward to a great year with your student in physics.